Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Krista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the myth of easy and effortless. And this is something that gets perpetuated so much in the coaching, consulting, and service-based industry. And so I really want to dive into this today and challenge the way that we are taught to talk about our work, to talk about the effort that our clients are going to need to put in to get results and achieve transformation. And I want to start things off sharing some of the worst advice I've ever been given in my entrepreneurial journey, because I bet this is advice very similar to advice you've been given, or maybe even advice that you give others. And it was this. I had the opportunity to get feedback on my business from 2 really well-known and really well-respected leaders in the online coaching and expert-based space. I was really excited for the opportunity. I was really looking forward to the call with them. And while a lot of what they did share with me was absolute gold, the one piece of advice that they gave me that I could not more wholeheartedly disagree with was they said to me, listen, you should really consider a different name, and you should change the name Lean Out, because Lean Out sounds like someone has to do work, and no one wants to do work. They want something that's easy. They want something that's effortless. You should change your branding so it doesn't sound like someone has to do work. I just remember being so taken back by that feedback, and I ended up doing completely the opposite. I doubled down on the term lean out, because to me, I felt like it was a good filter. I want to weed out the people who are looking for an easy button. I think we all know, right? If you've been in business for a minute, you know that growing your business and scaling your business is not easy. It absolutely can be simple. That's what I work with my clients on, is helping them simplify the scaling process and really ensuring that they have sustainable success. But simple is not easy. And I only want to work with people who understand that it's going to take work to actually get the results that they want. There is no magic wand. There is no easy button. There are a lot of ways and strategies and things that you can do to simplify things, but there is nothing that you are going to do that's going to remove the work that it's going to take, or that's going to make it truly easy and effortless. And I really wish that businesses were not so scared to actually say that something is going to take work. I wish that they did not work so hard to make their messaging just clever enough to hide the amount of effort it's really going to take for someone to get results. Here's the thing that bothered me most about the feedback that I was given. I went out and completely disregarded it, because it does not feel in integrity to me to make false promises or to claim something is super easy, or that somebody's going to have instant results with very little effort. But on this call where I got this feedback, there were a few hundred other people on the call. And if you paid attention and looked at those comments, all everyone was saying was reinforcing, oh yeah, no, you got to make everything sound easy. You got to make sure that all of your names make things sound like it's not going to take much work. You want everything to come across as easy and effortless. Definitely can't make something sound like it's going to take work. And so I might have ignored their comments, but there were a whole lot of other people that I bet went off and redid all of their marketing and all of their emails and their sales pages and even the names of their programs, products, or businesses to make things sound like they were easy and effortless. And I think this perpetuates a few different issues. A, it's misleading and it's not very transparent. And I personally have an issue with that. It can make people feel like they're doing something wrong. We all know that the entrepreneurial journey is a roller coaster and a half. And a lot of times, the things that we're working through and a lot of the things that we're dealing with are just as much mindset as they are strategies and tactics. And one of the mindset challenges that I frequently will end up hearing from people when they come into the lean out world for the first time is that they've been sold this lie in this myth that everything should be easy and effortless. And as a result, they feel like there's something wrong with them because things don't feel easy and effortless, and because they're working way more than they think they should. Now, if that person had been transparent with them and told them the amount of effort that they really needed to put in to get results, well, then they could have planned accordingly. They could have used what I talk about all the time with capacity-based planning, and they could have avoided overwork and overwhelm by being realistic about the effort they needed to put in to participate in the program or to take full advantage of the service. But by making something seem like it's going to take much less effort, that person then ends up having to work way more than they expected, and they end up pretty frustrated, if not overworked and overwhelmed. If in your own programs you have a lot of language that makes things seem like they should be easy and effortless, and that masks the amount of work that goes into getting results, then you're going to end up having clients who are really unhappy. You're going to end up with people requesting refunds. You're going to end up with people not completing your program. And you may end up with people leaving really negative reviews or complaining about the program, which in and of itself is probably incredible. Your program, your service, whatever it is that you're offering is probably absolutely incredible. And if someone actually shows up and takes action, they're probably going to get incredible results. The problem is if they are unprepared to show up and take that action and put in the effort that's required, then it's going to be a bad reflection on you and on your program or service, even though there may be nothing at all wrong with the program or service itself. It's just a misleading promise that was made. And sometimes it's not a misleading promise. It's not like somebody needs to put in 3 hours a week and you tell them it's going to be one. Sometimes you just simply don't tell them how long it's going to take at all. And they make their own assumptions because of other language that you're using that it's going to be pretty easy. It's not going to take very much effort. And at the end of the day, that's a false assumption. So I really wish that people were not so scared to say that things actually take work. Results are not magic, they take work. And if, like me, you actually help people simplify things, if you help people get time back, if you help people remove complexity, you do need to be really careful with your language. And this is something that I challenge my team with all the time. It's something I challenge myself with all the time, is to make sure that we are really being clear when we talk about simplifying things, that we are not saying easy, because simple and easy are two very, very different things. And if you've ever tried to simplify anything in your business or lean things out, you know it is definitely not easy. There's a Steve Jobs quote that I really love that says, "Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains." And that's ultimately a lot of the work that we're doing with our clients when we help them simplify. We help them create leverage. We help them put in place the systems and the team and the structures and the things that are going to allow them to be able to truly scale, where they're getting far better results from far less effort. And all of that is absolutely incredible. But again, it's not magic. It takes work. It takes real work, and they have to understand the work that they're going to have to put in order to get those results. So we try to be really transparent about what that looks like. And there's a few things that we do to try to minimize that amount of work for our clients that I want to share with you, because I think these are things that you can look at in your own programs, in your own marketing, in your own messaging. So number one, I believe you should be fully transparent about the amount of time and effort someone needs to put in. But I also think that you can very strategically design your programs, your products, and your services to only require a certain amount of time. So, what I have found over many, many years of working with clients, decades now at this point, is that 1 to 3 hours a week seems to be the sweet spot that most people can consistently show up and put in without a really major objection. Now, I always encourage our clients, if you can carve out more than 3 hours a week, if you can do 5 hours a week, if you could do more than that, you're going to get your results a lot quicker. But I design all of our programs to be able to be done in 1 to 3 hours a week intentionally. So the duration of our program, what we include and what we exclude, is all designed with intention so that somebody only has to put in 1 to 3 hours a week. So I can be transparent about the amount of time that it's going to take someone, but also I know how much time my clients are typically willing to invest. And so I just make sure that I design things to fit within that time. We all know that the number one objections that you're going to get on any offer in your business is time or money. The more seasoned a business is, it's usually time. The more new a business is, it's usually money, but you always get a mix of those two. And so you want to be really thoughtful and considerate of someone's time. Could I help somebody get results a lot quicker if they put in 3 times as much time? Absolutely. But I also know that there's very few people who will, or very few people who will be able to consistently, even if they want to. So I design it for the amount that I know that people can consistently show up and take action and commit to. Now, the next thing that we do is we try to give people time multipliers. So what I mean by that is if you show up for 1 hour live each week, which is what our Simplify to Scale and other offers tend to have, and then you implement up to 2 hours on your own, you're going to see results pretty steadily and pretty quickly. But instead of having to invent what you're doing from scratch, we provide templates and systems and examples and SOPs. We provide everything that they would need to be able to implement quickly, and we make everything adaptable. So instead of starting from scratch, they're able to take something and leverage 80% of it and then tweak it 20% to make it fit their context in their business. Or if nothing else, to have an example to look at and say, all right, that doesn't completely fit my business, but I get how this could look in our business based on the example in the template provided. So we're really intentional about helping people multiply time and be able to achieve more within the time that they have. So that lets you invest 3 hours a week and get back 10 hours a week worth of work. And so think about, for your programs, for your services, where can you do something similar? Where can you do the work in a scalable way for somebody, right? We're not going in and custom creating things for each client, but we've created some templates and some SOPs and some systems that we know are going to be applicable to the majority of people, and that they'll be able to leverage those to shortcut things. Really good investment of your time up front to save your clients time. It makes your offers more attractive, and it makes the completion rate and people's overall happiness and retention significantly higher. And then the final thing that we do is we know who is the person who's the most time poor in a business, typically the CEO, especially when they're at that place that they're scaling the business or they're getting ready to tip out of growth into scale. Time is their greatest asset, and it's the thing that they have the least of. And they're typically spending time on things that they don't necessarily want to be doing. Inside Simplify to Scale, we help people become operationally efficient and simplify things. We help people put in systems. We help people with team issues. A lot of this is stuff that the CEO does not want to be doing. They want to be off envisioning the amazing possibilities that are ahead for their business. They don't want to be creating systems. They don't want to be doing strategic planning themselves. There's a lot of the things that are necessary to scale your business and that we teach in Simplify to Scale that is not what the visionary CEO wants to be spending their time doing. So what we do is we give the team access. There's certain key things as the CEO of your business, as the founder of your business, that only you can do. You have to set the vision of the business. You should be clear on what your rich, fulfilled life looks like. But everything beyond that is something that you can either delegate to your team or get your team's support and overall ownership of from an implementation perspective. So we actually teach your right-hand person in the business how to implement on your vision and how to scale your business for you. So from a CEO perspective, they only need to commit to 1 hour a week, and that 1 hour is typically optional. They can pop in if they have questions, if they need to. It's more almost like open office hours where they can pop in and get support when and if they need it. But their team is the one that's showing up. Their team is the one that's taking action. And so they're getting the results that they want without it taking their time. So that is how we try to simplify things as much as possible. And as we look forward to the rest of this year, we're getting ready to add a new tier to our Simplify to Scale program, which I'm so excited about. And this one is exclusively for your ops leader in your business. It's exclusively for your right-hand person. So this is one that requires zero time from you as the CEO or founder of your business. And again, we've done this really intentionally because we always want to be transparent. We want to be super clear about the work that it's going to take. We want to be super clear about the amount of effort that somebody needs to put in to get results. But we also know that that visionary does not want to put in the time, does not necessarily have the time to put in, but still wants a business that's scalable, where things aren't completely dependent on them, where they can feel like they're truly living their rich, fulfilled life, and where they feel like they have a team that they can trust in to do the right things and get the right things done in the business to achieve the revenue targets and the level of impact that they want. So we have a new tier that we're introducing where we work with and certify and train and mentor your right-hand person on our scaling system. So they understand exactly where you're at, exactly what you need, and they understand how to work with you and be that trusted right-hand person in your business in order to implement on your vision and scale the business for you. And so this is all in the effort of how can we help our clients get the best possible results? How can we help them multiply time? How can we help them simplify what they're doing? How can we set them up for sustainable success and sustainable results? And how can we minimize the work without being misleading about the amount of work that it's going to take? To wrap things up here, if you have been told to be really careful with your marketing, with your naming, with everything that you do, to make everything sound super easy and super effortless, to hide the amount of work that someone's going to have to actually put in, or else they're just simply not going to buy, I call BS on that and would love to encourage you to be super transparent about what it really takes, but to also be really intentional with how you package your offer so that results can be achieved within the amount of time that you know your clients have available to commit. And one final bonus tip that I want to share before we round out this episode is if you know that time is going to be a major objection for your particular client base, something else that you can do is help them free up time in their schedule. If you've ever joined any of my workshops, if you've participated in my 10-10-10 challenge, you know that most of the work that I do before I ever make an offer for somebody to come in and join me inside Simplify to Scale is to help people get back 1 to 2 hours in their day every single day. And that is done really intentionally because people spend a lot of time on things that aren't important. People have a lot of unnecessary complexity in their business. People have a lot of waste in their business that causes them to work more hours than they need to and to work harder instead of smarter. So if I can help people to get that time back, they then are creating the space to show up and take action inside Simplify to Scale. Now, once people join Simplify to Scale, I also have advanced techniques and things that I do intentionally to give people some quick wins to get time back in their schedule. So think about how you can do the same, because asking someone to work even more than they already are can sometimes be a tough sell, even if they are intentionally putting in the effort to get back time later. But if you can help them get that time back before they even get started or right away when they do get started, it's going to make them much more likely to say yes. It's going to make them much more likely to show up, to take action, and ultimately get the results that will allow them to transform their business, remain a client, and tell everyone else about you as an incredible source of referrals. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. If you want to be the first to see all the details about the new tier of the Simplify to Scale program, head over to leanoutmethod.com/scale for all of the details, and I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.